Welcome back to Judith Plains, Montana. I'm BP, and this is the 555 Challenge. It is an exciting spring morning in March. We have so much to do today. We're going to get the muck spreader right out into the new big cornfield, and we don't really need to do the whole thing, but we're going to. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's happened here, folks. Let's see what this guy's supposed to be doing. Well, he's supposed to go into the buffalo barn to get buffalo milk, but it appears he's going to the tree to get some bark, so not sure what all that's about, but let's get him back on track and where he needs to be. Got too much to do today to have trucks running into trees. So as I was saying, so much to do today. Going to need to get the big cornfield mucked. I would have loved to do this by hand so we didn't have to do the whole field, because portions of it are already completely fertilized. However, we have too much to do it by hand today, so we are just going to get out here and get it done. I imagine we are going to go through quite a bit of manure, but we have been stockpiling it through the winter. So let's see, we want to do 2 headlands, start on the center rows, no rounded corners. We're going to see how that goes. 5% overlap. Let's check the rest of our settings here. Going to deactivate JPS. Going to deactivate avoid driving on fruit because there's no fruit on the field. I think we're in pretty good shape there. Guys, watch how big this course is going to be compared to the last time we did it. Look at that. So cool to have the big field here. So let's go ahead and save that. Got to come down here to manure, save course. We're just going to call it big corn. No point in trying to figure out how many fields there are combined there and everything else. Set to the first waypoint and let him rip. All right, he is off and running. We'll stay with them for just a minute and get them started. Now, guys, April, so much to do. First off, barley needs to be planted in the big field across the way. We can plant corn today, and we will be planting corn today. Just have to get into it. This guy's speed does not seem adequate for the task at hand. Seems like he got reset at some point. So let's bump his speeds up. That seems much better. And yeah, we'll leave the current waypoints on. That's not a big deal. Usually turn them off. Yeah, let's turn them off. Nicer to look at. Alright, and this portion we know is not going to do very much because the bottom portion of this field where we are currently working is already fully fertilized. So this part's going to be a bit of a waste, but it's about 1/3 of the field. So we're just going to take it. We'll just take the loss. Not a big deal. It'll be funny because I suspect when we transition to the areas that need fertilization, it will take away the lime. Let's see if that's true. Yep, there it is. Alright, so now with that in mind, let's just double check that we're getting the fertilization we want. Yep, single application's getting it done. We are winning. Okay, love it. Let's let them rip. We're going to have to refill them. I'm thinking 2 times, possibly 3, but we'll get there. Man, and guys, look at this. The grass is ready to be harvested too. Everything is coming up us in April, and by us I mean us needing to get some work done. Alright, let's grab the planter and let's get barley in the other field. Then we can run around and do our daily activities and get that going. Oh guys, you know what we could do? Ooh, I'm having a thought. We could We could cut the grass with the forage harvester. See, we have the grass header over there. I was not even remembering we had that. So we need something to pull... we need something to pull a tipper. Let's just get this set to barley. And remember, because we have the big cornfield now, we're doing some switching around with our planting. So this field over here to the right that had been corn for us, this was our large cornfield, is now going to be barley. The barley field down there on the right that has always been barley is going to go to corn, and that's what we're going to chaff for silage. So that's going to make that easy. So we're going to be doing a little bit of field switching today. So let's go with planter 54. Let's clear the current course. Let's load this course. I'll take a look and see. That looks fairly good. 2 headlands. We're going to start on the center rows. JPS deactivated, drive on fruit deactivated. It was pointed out to me that this does not do anything once JPS is turned off, so thank you, FS Farmer, for letting me know about that. So it can be 0, 1, 100, does not matter. I think we are good to go. So let's get out here, make sure we're on the first waypoint. And the only thing we didn't check, guys, was did this guy's speed get reset? No, he is still in good shape. Know what that's going to be about. Let's see. Fertilizer empty? Yep, fertilizer's empty. So in here, under settings, let's see. Refill tool deactivated. Return to starting point. It's in one of these settings. We have to find it. Waits for refueling, fuel threshold, automatic repair. It's definitely here. Turning on fuel, avoid driving on fruit. Allow Pathfinder tool settings. Return starting point, raise to a lower tool. Seeder settings. Sowing, yeah, here it is. Sowing machines using fertilizer deactivated. We use manure, so we don't need it. Now I'm confused as to why he put it down here, because we should be starting on the up and down rows. Okay, not thrilled with that, so I think we're going to redo this course. So field 54, we're going to go ahead and delete this. We know if we start on the center, it's much more helpful. So let's just redo this course. Number of headlands 2, number of rounded corners 0. Start on the center. Yep, that's what we want. So that course was a previous one. Now we come in here, planter, save course, hit that with a 54. And now let's hit the first waypoint. Perfect. Yeah, we don't want it doing the headlands. It tends to wander when it does the headlands first and end up in someone else's field, the ditch, the river, the road. It's like a small child that doesn't yet know about the dangers of the world. It just wanders. And we don't want that for our planter. We want it nice and safe on the field. So we're going to start in the middle. Alright, cool. I am happy with that. Okay. Mucking going on the big cornfield. Planting barley on what was the old cornfield and is now going to be the barley field. Can we... Where are we with the sheep? They have 57,000 liters of food. Feeling pretty good about that. Now here we are. We have some milk to transport. I assume we have some eggs as well. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's check our messages this morning and see what we have. Okay, one animal died due to an accident. That's not good. Gave birth, gave birth, gave birth. Okay. And look at that. Okay, no, sold. That was me. I was going to say, I thought the herdsman was doing some work. Not yet. So no one got sick in this barn. And we are 240,000 liters of food and 84,000 liters of straw. We have a boatload of milk in here we need to get out. Almost 23,000 liters. Check the chickens' food. They should be fine. They go through it so slowly. 14, almost 15,000. That'll be good for several more months. running over to the buffalo barn. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. 413,000 liters of food. No buffalo milk because it just got picked up. 88,000 liters of straw. 197 liters of manure, guys. I am so happy with our manure. All right, this guy needs to be bumped on to the next portion of his duties. And when he's done there, we're going to send him to collect the milk out of the dairy. I do wonder if... yeah, he should wait 10 seconds, which should certainly have come and gone. Okay. We'll ride with this guy, and we'll jump out and grab the top kick over there. Do we have soybeans to plant today? We can. Now, do we want to wait on soybeans? Because that's going to be a lot to get in the ground today to get all the corn and the soybeans in. Could be too much. I think maybe we save the soybeans, right? Because soybeans here, they're harvestable. If we plant them now, we get them in October. Corn, if we plant now, we get in October. So we'd have everything ready to harvest at the same time. So I think the soybeans definitely wait until tomorrow. Man, we are low on fuel in the top kick. Let's grab some fuel while we're running our errands, because we have not even yet started to look at what we have to sell today, and I think it is going to be a lot. Let's just put it that way. Oh, there's one of the stop signs down. Utterly shocking that the signs on Judith Plains in front of the farm are down. Liking our new gate setup. I did try a couple of different automatic gate opening mods, not on that gate in particular, but the base pen gates, and did not have much luck, so I did not keep them installed. But I was thinking that would be a great way to do that. Now that's very interesting. Why are we not loading here, guys? Alright, looks like we're loading by hand today. That's alright. I suspect some of the updates I did to my PC have mixed up the auto load controls. Not a problem. It's going to be a bit of a challenge when we go to sell, you know, I don't know what it's going to be, but 30,000 liters of clothes. We may have to do some sorting of that, but we'll get there when we get there. Alright, let's check one thing here. Yeah, it's okay. So it did. There was just something goofy with the trigger. We are good. Now, as usual, why did we... oh, is this pallet? That's weird that one pallet is causing problems. You know what? We're not even going to look at it. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to take it and run. I don't know why that pallet's a problem. I thought maybe it was a partial, but then we have a partial pallet of eggs. So that's obviously not the problem. Almost left without getting fuel, which would have been a problem. There we go. Filling up. Can see the fuel going down in the top right corner. If you remember in a previous episode, I think it was year 2, we did replace that fuel tank with one that we can fill and just use the fuel, but we're back to paying for it, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but it's alright. Not a big deal either way. And look at how short of work that planter and the quad track made of that field. That is crazy how fast it's getting done. Just want to check on that real quick. That is... we drove over here and came back, and that was it. I see the Volvo coming back. Let's check the BGA. If it's basically full, it is. Let's go ahead and stop the Volvo, because if we have productions to sell, I don't think we want the Volvo down at the BGA. So we'll jump in. And where do we want to put the tanker? Well, I guess we could fill it up. That wouldn't be a bad thing to do. We're going to have to consider starting to sell some manure here, which I'm not going to do until we're totally done with all the fields. But we have several 100,000 liters on the farm, which is great news. Finally feel like we're getting ahead on manure. Felt like we were, you know, balancing, trying not to use too much of it in past seasons. So good to hit the tipping point. But we're probably going to be buying more fields, so that may be a moot point after all this if we end up with another field. Alright, so the dairy barn is empty. Always a good start to the day. I like when our productions and their inputs line up. When we're getting through the slurry we're producing, the BGA staying full. Feels nice and balanced in regards to, you know, our inputs and our outputs. Needs to be refilled. Guessing that's going to be the manure spreader, guys. Let's get this guy topped off. We'll run out there. Like I said, this is a busy episode. There's no slurry here. Perfect. That's actually great. Let's park it, because we're going to use the Volvo for another project. Alright, we're going to come down here. Let's get parked sort of here on the corner, and then let's run out. I have to assume that that is... Yep. Perfect. Let's turn on the last waypoint before we leave, so it's easy to find. Like I said, we certainly could be being more efficient with this if we weren't fertilizing the other half. And if I'd checked before we plowed it together, we could have done it. But, you know, no point in crying over combined fields after the fact. We got a great, huge cornfield. We got tons of manure, no problems. Still need to figure out what we're going to do with the grass. There's just a lot of it. I do have an idea about what we can do with the grass. I got to see if we have the right mods installed. But let's see. First and foremost, like I said, so much to do here today, guys. This guy needs to be switched out. He needs to be going to the dairy barn to get regular milk. Gonna put him on a loop. He needs to be out of the trigger. And we will put him back on course. Get that 23,000 liters of milk out of the dairy barn. Here we are. Now I have thought about over time here. This is going to be tight. Ooh, should not have pulled in this way. Getting auto drive set up to auto refill when we're... Ooh, look at that, guys. Nailed it. Got it right in there. Have thought about putting an auto drive course in. You can do auto drive to refill your manure spreader at the manure heaps. That might be something we do in the future. Do I need to pull up the trigger? I mean, we're definitely there. We gotta say we're definitely on it. 197,000. That is basically four loads of manure at the buffalo barn. Great news. We are going to have to consider running manure to the BGA. Not this episode. Clearly got way too much to do. But in the future, could be a really good option for getting more money in the bank. So, back on manure spreading duty. I bet it takes one more fill after this. Seems like we're a little bit more than a third of the way done. The outside headlands are always more than you think they are. You have to be careful with that. It always seems like it's going to be two quick passes, but the outside headlands of the field, particularly when doing two, typically end up being about 30% of the field in my experience. So we will be ready for that. We have plenty of manure. Not going to be a problem either way. Back on track. Boom. Happy with that. And let's get our lines turned off now. Whoa, just ran through the manure spreader, guys. Not going to smell so good when we go to sell our stuff. Let's head back. Where would we leave the Volvo? Right here. Alright. Jump in the Volvo. I'm just going to head over to the logistics center. I'm assuming that we have a bunch of clothes to sell. So, could be wrong. Maybe it's not the best price. But I'm just going to assume that there are things to sell and that we have places to go. And I think today is going to be a big money-making day. Mentioned last episode about the Volvo, 519 miles on it. Love the mileage counter mod for the game. Thinking this truck has 1,000 miles on it before we are done with the playthrough. So back in the reefer, even if we're not using it as a reefer, we are going to use it as a dry box. So time-saving stock check. Close $830,000 at the BNSF Montana. Now that sure seems like the train, right? Yeah, that's the train. And you know how I feel about the train. And with that much to sell, let's check the value at a different station. So yeah, we're within $30 of the Moccasin General Store. Tag the Moccasin General Store. 74,000 liters of clothes. Man, guys, that has been a long time coming. So where is the logistics center? Close. Start with C. Let's get this turned to storing. Oh, and I didn't turn on my loader. Now, we had a bunch of sunflower oil in here last episode, but those pallets were smaller. I'm interested to see how many we get in. If we get a third row in this trailer, I think we get close to 75,000. If it only go to 2 rows... Yep, only went to 2 rows, and that is totally fine. So, let's actually jump into the menu. Let's unload on the left side away from everything. I want to see if I can tweak this. We need to change the color on something just to keep everything. We can go from dark black to black on that, and that allows us to customize. Man, that is so close to the ceiling already. We don't want it sticking up through. That is right to the roof line. That is risky business on the auto load. Let's see what that looks like. If that's bad, we will reload and go from there. Yeah, see, it's only given us 2 rows now as well. So maybe we try going a little bit wider, because I really want to get more in here. Don't want it hanging out. Don't want it looking bad. But I think we can get... Alright, so let's change this back to dark black. Winning. Alright, then we're going to come in here. We'll bring this down so it's not clipping the roof anymore. But we are going to attempt to make it just a little bit wider. Alright, that is awfully darn close to the outside edge. Oh yeah, 2 rows. Alright, 56 pallets. I like that. Pick up a few more. We're going to be awfully close to getting them all, aren't we? Oh, I think we're going to be like 2 pallets short, guys. That is going to be so funny. We'll back up and get the rest of these. Maybe I'll try to squeeze them in the back. We'll have to see if I can get them in. Oh no, they fit. Look at that, all the way to the back door. Oh, and how does it look with the doors closed? Everything fits, no clipping. Oh, guys. That is incredible. Now, I don't want the clothes spawning out here regularly, so let's go ahead and put that back to distributing. 74,000 liters of clothes. Excited for what our sheep are producing and bringing to the farm. So here we go off to the Moccasin store. Moccasin General Store. There we go. Got the words out. I will meet you guys up there. This is going to be a nice, easy drive up. We are full and heavy and don't need another incident with tipping like we had with sunflower oil. So I'll see you in just a minute. Just pulling into town, did a quick loop. This is being recorded right after Giants Update 1.13. So wanted to make sure my shader was fully loaded. So did a quick loop around town. Let's see about getting the big Volvo in. Oh, we caught the back end. There we go, look at that. Alright, let's see if we pull over harder, faster. Can we get it before it swings? No, we cannot. We've set this up poorly, and now we have a van in the way. Alright, let's just pull over. Go around, please. There's more than one way to get into a parking lot. Alright, we're going to release the tension belts here. One of the things I like about the reefer trailer is the axle is further up, so you get better turning than if it was all the way at the end. I need this thing to snap around, and then I gotta follow it. And I think... Let's see. Oh, there's one more pallet of clothes in there. We'll get her. That's not a problem. Oh, a couple more pallets of clothes. And all done. $874,000. That is incredible. Alright, so what else do we have that needs to be sold? Let's just sort of get squared up here and jump into the menu. I have a feeling, before we look at that actually, I have a feeling that, yeah, the quad track needs help with this transition from the straightaways, from the center to the turns, which is fine. It didn't wander off. We're happy with that, so let's just get it moving. Oh, we don't want to jump to the outside track though. And we'll try that one more time. There we are. Perfect. Alright, let's get the lines turned off. Let's get the menu put away. What's the status of our... Oh, he needs help transitioning too. Perfect. From the centers to the headlands. We can make that happen. You know what, guys? I think we should just fill him now. What do we think? He made it to here, took 2 to get this done. I think we fill him up now, and then we don't have to worry about it next time. So let's close this down. Let's get that done. This area down here, where we're driving right now, is a little field extension we put on. So that will need fertilizing as well. So, like we said, not quite the most efficient way to do this field, but we got plenty of manure. We got a lot going on today. By the time this guy's done, we should be able to set the quad track over here with the planter and get corn put in this field. Need to get the grass harvested today too. That is going to be a project that we're going to have to figure out. I'm wondering if we should check the shop and see if the piece of equipment we need is in there. I said I'm not sure I loaded it. We'll have to figure it out. Alright. Without hitting the cold storage building. Professional driver here. Professional manure spreader driver. Nice and topped off. 150,000 liters of manure is about what we're going to spread today. That is going to be good to remember for next year, so we know how much manure we need to store up over winter, so when we start putting it in the BGA, we can keep track of it. So, back over to this field, get the manure, the muck spreading, the manure spreading back on track. Nice that he stopped in the corner there right when he basically needed to be filled up anyways, so not a problem. Man, this tractor is not... This is not a low-powered tractor, and it is struggling on the loose dirt of the plowed field. There we go. Get a little downhill to help us out. See how bumpy it is. Great with the textures on the field. tractor actually interacting with him. You can see the depressions where the tires are. Very cool update. Great update for Farm Sim 25. Excited for that one. So, enough talking about dirt and ruts. Here we are. Off to the races. Let's just make sure this guy makes his turn. I don't foresee any problems with him making his turn, but we don't want to risk having him get stuck. Again, too much to do today. Beautiful. Just make sure he gets on his straightaway here. Alright, that looks like a win to me. So, more things to sell. You know what we said? We checked the shop. Let's go into the sale, see what's here. We do have the Krone AgriLiner. Not the piece of equipment I was looking for. That is an interesting trailer. Not quite big enough for our needs. The Pro Bale Round Bale, guys. On sale, 59% off. Yeah. I mean, we're going to buy it. And we're going to do it in orange, so we know that this one's the round one. Okay, that'll be at the shop for us when we're ready. That was a great pickup. And the rest of the stuff we've already seen. So the question is, do I have a forage trailer installed on here that can be pulled behind the forage harvester? It's such a good question. 52,000 liters. I mean, it's just going to be so much forage, or so much grass. I keep saying forage. Yeah, the one I'm looking for has 100,000 liters. Let's check. It's a Krone brand. It could be in a different category. I might not have it installed. That's all right, too. So far, no dice. Here we are. Is this thing going to work? Let's see. You know, guys, I think we give it a try. If it works, you'll see me driving it back from the shop. If this mod doesn't work, then we'll just cut back to doing the next thing. We are headed back to the farm. So far, so good. I got this angle for you guys. I want to show you. Towing this with the truck may not have been the best plan. We only have one set of wheels on the ground. It has a high hitch specifically designed for the forage harvester. So, have never used this mod before. I've been eyeing it for a while. It is a forage harvester chaser bin. And we're going to go ahead and give it a whirl and see if it works today. Has 100,000 liter capacity, has some cool animations from what I've seen. So we're going to get it right out to the grass field and try to get it started. Was remembering with all the planting we're doing today, we're going to have to do rolling. So need to get the Versatile into the new barley field. As you can see, top, middle there, finished work. The planting of the barley field is done. So that is exciting. I guess that could be the manure spreader over there, but I still see more signs. I still see some lime on the outside of the field. So let's get this thing put down so we can actually... There we go. There we go. Got rid of that. So let's head in here. As I said, it is going to be a busy day today. We're going to grab the forage harvester in here. We're going to need to put the header down. So let's see. And I'm guessing the milk tanker is on its second run through. Yep. Okay, 23,000. Great. Go to the next step. Okay, now can we make these corners without hitting anything? Man, I forgot how... Just a little bump on the header and some bushes. Forgot how sharp this forage harvester looks. Looking good. Alright, and we'll grab the grass header. Now, as I said, no testing has been done with this mod. Haven't tried it, have never played with it. Could be absolute genius. Could be a disaster. No idea. We're going to find it out together. We're going to see if we like it. The idea behind it sounds great. 100,000 liter capacity, forage wagon. Now, I got to sort of get things set up here because there's going to be a little bit of finagling with the controls because there are several. Okay, so that's the high hitch. Oh, the high hitch looks good. Now we're on the trailer. Now here's the magic, guys. If this works, right? So it tips, it turns, and then look at that. Opens up, so the forage, the grass, the forage gets shot right in there. How cool is that? Again, not sure if it's going to work. Not a clue. Could be a complete disaster. But we're going to assume that it's going to work well. So we're going to get lined up on the edge of the field. Do we just go right to a worker? I think maybe we go right to a worker. Alright, so right in here, field work settings, number of headlands, I think we're going to do 4 with 4 rounded corners. We do not want this thing turning around. Now, let's see. That should all be good. We want it to start work on the center, as always. Island bass, rows to skip, 0. So we could have it skip a row. Let's have it skip 2 rows. That way it has a nice, easy turning radius, no craziness. The one I want to try, loop turn on headlands. That's going to prevent it from backing up. So if that works, we might have just figured this whole thing out. Oh, we're going to go that direction? Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, I mean, that's the way it wants to go. We're not going to save... Are we going to save this course? Do we want to save it? We might. Okay, I mean, let's call it... Let's go to a new folder. Mow forage. All right. Okay, so we have mow forage, and we're on field 49. Let's see how all of this works out. Okay, so it refolded, unfolded, that's not a problem. Yep, grass header down would be great there, little mower. I mean, that's a wild amount of success to start. Not sure how it's going to do the whole thing. Wow, guys, look at that. That is working. Do feel like we could increase the speed a little bit, but I want to see it. I want to see the turn when it's skipping 2 rows and doing loop turns to avoid backing up. So let's see what happens. I don't want to be in the menu for this first one. Yeah, almost 20,000 liters of grass the first pass. Okay, so 2 rows. That looks good. Look at that. Not too sharp. It's not binding. Guys, I'm excited. This is good stuff. Now let's increase the speed and make it break, right? That's what we got to do here. Once we have something that works nicely, why not see if we can't get it to break? Okay. Wow. That is really, really cool. We're going to have to empty it a whole lot. So we'll need some sort of tipper on the side of the field, maybe. It is missing a tiny bit at the end of the row, but I don't think that's a big deal. Guys, that is so cool. I am so excited about that. Okay. Well, let's see who finished work. Oh, the planter finished, as expected. Okay. Great. I do think we need to run back to the farm and find some seed. We may have to do April as a 2-part episode, guys. I'm thinking we are probably at the end of a first episode, and we have corn to plant, fields to roll. We have to figure out how to empty the new mower with that really cool forage chaser bin. So maybe we get this guy filled up and we call it there. We still haven't even checked to see if we have more stuff to sell. I think there's so much to do. Yeah, we have fabric to sell that I want to get rid of. We're not going to sell total mixed ration. We're not selling the wool. We already discussed that. Yeah, so we have a lot more things to do. Bread is not a great price. It is getting there, though. So let's get this guy filled up and staged, and I think we're going to call this episode done. The first half of April episode done. But we're going to need a second episode. We've got the rest of the manure spreading to do. Oh, look, he just finished. There we go. Perfect. We've got the grass to collect. We've got fields to roll. More stuff to sell. And guys, you know how I feel about having money in my pocket on Judith Plains. It might be time to buy something. So, heading over here, let's back it in. This is why you have a grass field next to your farm, folks. This is so you don't have to worry about it. This is a cornfield or barley or cotton or wheat. Driving on it would be a problem. Always put the field closest to your farm as a grass field. You'll thank me for it later. Alright, bags of seed, 1. Excellent. Bags of seed, 1. Excellent. What do we got? Pallets of molasses, silage additive herbicide. Oh, we got more seeds in there. Yeah, let's put as many out as we can. Oh, it went down. Went down into the trigger. Alright, let's just get these 2 topped off. Then we'll pull a couple more out. Can we do one more? Seems like we should get one more out. There we go. Just thinking it's going to take a lot of seed to get the corn done. And we are waiting on the soybeans, but we're not going to have to wait very long. It won't be next episode, I guess, because we are going to do another April episode, another April episode. But come May, we will be planting. So let's get over here. All right, you guys see that? Look at those rows. Gonna have to figure out how to get that guy emptied. That is such a cool setup. I cannot get over that. I am so excited for that mod. The Crone Forage Chaser Bin. So nice. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications. Channel memberships are available if you'd like to support my content further, and channel members do get early access to upcoming videos. This is the first episode of April in Year 5. We will have a second episode in Year 5. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.